Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Satisfactory, and I've done some touching up and some preparations. Not fully yet, but enough that I can explain my mad plan on making this. As you can see, the factory we worked on in the last episode is almost done. I got the nice sides like we've done with the other buildings, which is a perfectly fine setup for the current build we have. I left a few sites open so we have access to it later on. I will close it up eventually. You can also see that we have dripped over a little bit over the bottom factory, so we are going to introduce pillars to the bottom of that to well, complete visually the structure. And like I mentioned last time, we wanted to have the whole assembly line here on top, and I got an idea of what I want to do with that. We got two layers. Upstairs we're gonna make our rotors and stators, and below we're gonna make our motors and encase the beams. And if we all make that come together, we have there our factory, and then we can close it up and put all the finished product into storage, all access into our sinks, and then this place will be completely done and will be generating massive amounts of points if the power keeps up. If not, I have thought about that. We can extend our power supply if needed. But for now, let's finish off this beauty and see how far we can get with the power that we have at our fingertips. So, I have made a list of everything we need. I have the resources to build the machines. And on the top I have what we're going to do. We're going to go 6 constructors, 9 assemblers. That's basically what it is. 6 assemblers here on top, 3 on the bottom, and 6 constructors to start out with. So that's basically what we're going to do. I've opened up a few of the flooring so I could get back up here and down there to finish up the walls. This is our incoming steel, and all the way over here is our incoming wire. The wires will of course be used all the way back here with the rotors and the stators, resulting in roughly 210 wires being used of the 240 we are producing. So we are in excess, but that is good. I'd rather have it in excess than be short on it. What we're going to do with what we have left, if we're going to either put it on the line that will go into the sink or to leave it, I haven't decided on that yet. But for now, let's start building, shall we? We have our constructors. We need 6. I think we should have enough room here to make all of it. And that is basically all the steel we're getting will be made for it. So we want to have one here. Enough room to running all the lines. I think we have more than enough room to have all the conveyor belts go anywhere we need them to. There's going to be 6, because as we know from the past, every foundry will make enough for 2 pipe constructors. We're gonna use that same principle here as well. So one more. And just as I wanted, enough room for the wire to come around the side all the way to our assemblers. And I placed one here just to test out how much flooring I needed. And it's basically 3 per side, just to make sure we have enough room in the middle to play around with that. Let's see if we can put an assembler down roughly the same. So how against the square. Perfect. I see that that works. Would it be enough room? Yeah, this should be enough, right? We got one line on the bottom for the pipes and on top for the wires. Yeah, and here at the exit should have enough room then for the mergers, which of course by the first one we don't actually need, but I did test it on the other side if we had room to do that, and we do. Perfect, and now we should just have enough assemblers. Do we want to have them tightly together, or do we want to have a little bit of room next to each other? Just because we can. Why not? Make it look a little bit more... Really? I press Control because I want to have it aligned. This is not aligned. Alright, and then do it ourselves. Ah, and that's why I didn't align. We had it the wrong way around. Yeah, that is perfect. Right, and a bit of symmetry never hurts. It makes it look all the more beautiful. Okay, so now that we have this, when we get the result, we'll all come them all in one belt to the middle, and we then want it to go down. So just as a placeholder for the moment. That would be perfect. Then we have it both coming in one line. So let's move downstairs. Do we have the flooring for that? Yes. Come on, we can make it. Good. Should have finished this up, but it's not that bad. And then that miner will bring the limestone all the way up here to where we need it for our encased, and here it comes down one for the motors. So since we need two for the encased, well, we can use two for the encased beams. I would say let's put those here in the back and the motors in front. Doesn't really matter, does it? Because the pipes we'll have left will come from that end, and the limestone for the concrete will come from here. So how much would we need for that? Let's make sure we have enough room. That should work. We may be a bit short on room here, so I might extend it same as we did with the one on top. I think we can wing that, right? Yeah, because then it will be the same as well. Just taking you with me with my inner monologue to get there. So it means that this will be right on the edge of the second platform. Yep. Alright, that will be of course for our concrete. It will be 30. Ooh, we might need to overclock this a little bit. Unless we have enough room for a third one. No, 40 concrete. Wait. Oh, yeah. We're coming a bit short with just 2. But it also means we need 45 limestone. And I think that one only produces 60. I need more limestone. Alright, we'll deal with that later. We're gonna pull it from. So we need one more constructor. And then we can start building our other machines. Let's put this one right next to it. And that will be enough what we need. And we can downscale it exactly to what we need for the 40 concrete. So if we say 40, say 15, 15, yeah, 15, 10. Yeah, that will be fine. Let's break this one up to 10. Can we already change it? Probably making 30. So we need in total, preferably 120. Like a normal limestone production line. I think we can do that. I think I can find that for us. Perfect. Now we have our assemblers. And then we have room here for 2 and 2 on the other side. So do we want to do the same principle as we did with the other one? Did I do 2 lines on top? Yes, we did. Alright, that explains a lot. Doesn't really matter. Because we have plenty of room down here for all of that. The only thing I want to make sure is that we have enough room for everything in the back end. Yeah, this should be enough to lead it back around. Alright. On the corner. Nah, I wanted the same. We can do this. Alright, perfect. With enough room in the middle for a last one. Though there's does it work with what's behind it? Because what I was thinking, I thought I was gonna be this one and this one for the same line. But why not use these two? Then they are against each other. We'll bring those 2 lines in to these ones, and what comes out of it, the motors, We can then straight back through the middle, all the way through the exit, right in between the two lines we're gonna have here, all the way out. Yes. We've got to remember that we also need to make sure that we do have two lines being split out of this with a smart splitter to go into our storage from on top here for the rotors and stators, because we do want to store them as well. That's why we're making 3 instead of just 2, because they make 5 a piece. We need 10 for the motors, meaning we are making 15 of each, so we have a little bit of a buffer to fill up our boxes all the time, and then we can grab them whenever we need them. That would be perfect. Alright, I think that's our machine assembly line there. I still have to do awesome things on the list, but they are going to come there in the end of it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to line up all the conveyor belts and maybe make a start with the wiring as well. And I'm going to look around in the area if I can find another piece of limestone. Can I make it? I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Yes. Yeah, C is 60. So I either overclock it, which will use a lot of power, or I bringing another lime resource from somewhere else. But I'll have a look around as we make our build. So I'll see you all in a little bit. Alright, and we're back, and I found my limestone deposit that I wanted to use. There were 2 options. One was our old line that we're using for all of our concrete. They were still running on 2 Mark 1 miners. I upgrade them to Mark 2 and cut one straight out of the production line. So we're still making enough concrete because we doubled what's coming out of the mine, and the one that's left, we redirected it straight into our other line that goes to our future storage facility. And as you can see, yeah, it took a lot. So let's have a quick look around on how we did all the belting. Let's fly straight across my own character. Alright, so it starts out here with our pipe factory. It's coming in, being divided all over with 6 constructors going into the main line, which is accompanied by the wires from downstairs. We're making more wire than we are actually needing. We make 240, so we need 210. That's why the belt is standing still, but that's fine. Since we're already making a shit ton that's being stored in our storage facility, we do not need to redirect it. We can just leave it as it is. Technically speaking, I might even lower our production a little bit to save on some power in the end, just to make it more, well, working better. So right now it's been running for like half an hour, so not everything is 100% full, but it's definitely getting there. So we got 3 machines on each side. Here are being made 15 stators and another rotors and stators on this side. So yeah, and then equally we have this 15 coming in. First of all, we're making everything go downstairs, and what's on the overflow with a smart splitter is then directed straight to their box. And so when we go downstairs where they are making the motors, everything is going there as a priority, and the only thing that's left will be stored away. So this machine will keep making motors as long as production keeps going. Now, here where both our lime come together, they go straight into it, making 3 constructors going for the production facility into our 2 assemblers that are there for encased beams, working on the runoff of pipes coming from upstairs. Combined with the cement is of course concrete, whatever you want to call it, into our encased beams, which then go back on our line where we have the motors and our encased beam going into our storage where they are slowly being filled up. And that's basically where we got right now. It doesn't look pretty yet, because I still have to figure it out, and I'm thinking about maybe finding a way to connect both buildings with some nice arches or something. That would be really cool if we can manage that. But I think for now, the most important part I want to do is, well, finish up this. I place all the smart splitters to make sure that everything gets divided onto a line, which then can go straight into our two sinks here. And only thing we need to do is figure out how we want to attach them to both lines. And as you can see, I removed one line here, one box, I moved it to the side, so it fit better going into a facility, and we can just run off the limestone past the building into our main line. I think that worked really nicely, so I'm happy with that. And we have one box left, and in the end we have one more thing we want to make here that can eventually end up in the box, and that's of course one of our production lines that we haven't even looked at yet because we don't have the machinery for it. Ow. Let's see if we can... Where are they being made? Can we make them? That's for our SAM fluctuators. Because we need a manufacturer, because it had 3 slots that needs to be used. We have a box full of the prerequisites for it, so we have enough to work with to make it manually. But eventually it has to be made and put in their box. And in the end, on top of every single one of these boxes, of course a dimensional one, so we can take it from wherever we need it. That is where we are right now. So let's head off and try to finish off this episode by, well, let everything go into a sink, shall we? And the one thing I would love to do... Do we want both lines to stay separate? Or do we want everything to go on one belt? That's the only thing I'm a little bit conflicted about. Because in the end, when every box is full, which will happen eventually, they will have to be transported into the sink. And I don't know... the belts can take, but on the other hand, once this is complete, once the boxes are full, we are gonna progress into the story and we will get faster elevators and faster belts as well, so we might be able to enhance it. So I think I want to go with just one. I think we should be able to do that. The only question is how to merge everything together. Alright, let's hope we have enough materials, because that's the one thing I didn't check. Yeah, we're running out of cable. Alright, so let me grab some cable and then we're gonna finish this off by placing 2 sinks here. So we have enough to process everything that's coming over and keep the line working when they're full. Alright. Alright, so 1 to one side. Should fit perfectly. Yes. Square goes a little bit over the line. Is it for the... Yeah. No, we have to make it fit. Haven't thought about whether or not I want to encase it or just leave it on the outside. I think I will probably leave it on the outside. Can we make that turn? Yeah, probably if we do a default. Yeah, that looks perfect. Awesome. And then let's get this back on it. Alright, this is done. We just need to get the line to it. And of course, in the end, also power it. So where will we get the power from, at least for the time being? Getcha. Because there's going to be a building here for our, of course, storage, and we'll attach the cables for powering it on it. But until that's finished, we'll use it like this. Alright, that's taken care of. Okay, so we got... lines can come in from 3 sides. We've got to make sure that we keep room for an entry hole here, so we don't lose our ability to use that. With a merger here. Come over to this side. Yeah. Let's see if that works. Nope. Let's take a step back. Yeah, I think I can work with that, because if we place... yeah, it goes straight next to it. Alright, that actually works. And this should be in our first line. Let's see if I can get on top of there without bumping my head. Alright, it comes in from here. So our overflow goes there. Yes. That means the other machines over there will start working again. Now attach this to here. And it's going into the sink. Perfect. Alright, 1 down. A couple more to go. Oh, crap. It's very tight in here. I could probably put a bit more to the side to align it, but then I would lose the entrance to that one, so I'll accept it. Yes. Alright. Next order of business. Alright, that's 2. And like I said, eventually we'll upgrade our lines to be able to process it faster. That's one of the reasons why I want to have 2 there, so we can have a massive load that can be processed. Alright, now comes the tricky ones, because they're on there. The belts are still working, so they are being put inside the storage. But with all the problems we had in that building with our first one, I just want to make sure it worked. Alright, so this one we want to put in here. And in the end, of course, nobody will see this part but us. We'll have a surface entrance to see this, but we'll block it with no windows. Nobody needs to be here after we're done. Alright, mergers all day long. Hey. Oh, these creatures, they love the attention. They always try to show up. Is that because that's why we didn't have a line? Let's see if we can manage. Ah, there it is. Snug, but it works. The rest should be a little bit more room. Yeah. Now we just have to attach everything. Alright, everything's attached. Perfect. Now let's see if we can find our way up there so we can actually program the damn things. Isn't that too hard? Okay, center output. I have no idea which one of the two it's going to be. And the fact, of course, if it works. So I'm going to put both sides on overflow. No! Oh wait, this is they're not full. I have to check it here. See which one it is. Still not. Yeah, and there it goes. Alright, so confirmation that the attachment worked. And it's gonna be this one. Yeah. I'm still gonna put both of them overflow just because I can. Because it doesn't matter. Ooh, wait. Are they perfectly aligned if we put the entrance to the dimensional box on that side? Interesting. We'll see. And of course, these boxes that aren't full yet, they will overflow the moment the box becomes full. And this will assure us that production will never stop. It will always keep coming and always be making. This also means that our power usage will go up. It's not bad, actually. We still have a bit left. Would that be enough for our next factory? Yes, but the most important part is it's all connected to the boxes, so we can just take it out and see how much we have. Ooh, this is going nicely. It's 2. Yeah. Enough for us to pick off and use for ourselves. And this is going to be working overtime from now on, I imagine. Yeah, points are not there yet, but now we have a continuous flow, because we didn't have that before. The only other sink we had was the one that we manually fed things in. This is our first 2 sinks attached to a fully functioning factory and actually producing points. And with those points we can get our final customizable items, so like poles, wires, all the kind of stuff. And then yes, we can start to see how do we want this building to look, because we did play around a little bit already with the building over there with the big old pillars that I really love. I love having more well-rounded shapes, but we're gonna get some smaller ones that we can attach to the building as well, so that is going to be sweet. So for now I think this will be really nice. I think I'm gonna remove the flooring underneath these lines and maybe convert those poles where the lines are resting on into like struts on the bottom, like factory pillars that are on the outside instead of an entire flooring, opening things up a bit more. Just like all this extra flooring we have here, that is nothing. We'll rework that so we get a little bit more of our greens back. And we have to think about something later for the future. Our roads. Yes, our roads. Because we want to have some more options for transportation. And with roads come train, with train comes hypertubes. So much things we still need to think about. For now, I'm probably gonna leave the game running for a bit in between this and the next episode, so we can accumulate those points and empty out the stores. And on the beginning of the next one, we'll have a little bit of a architectural session, so to speak. Just showing and working around on different things we can do with these buildings here to make them a little bit more beautiful than just these square boxes. I'm sure we can think of something, right? And if possible, I would like to have the entirety of each factory have an ability that we can just walk through them. Like we are actually working there, then we want to have access to them. Not by just ladders, because ladders work perfectly as you are building, but I just want to have stairs. Doesn't need to be concrete stairs, but at least some sort of stairs that will get us through the building. Yeah, but for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see where we're gonna take this building. How are we gonna make this a little bit more pretty? Because right now, it's functional, it's working, and I'm very proud of that. I don't know if I've ever made a combined factory like this, because it's massive, and it works, and I'm happy with that. But for next time, still got a lot more to do. So until then, bye bye.